Hi, I'm Jeffrey, and this is Life with a Pipe. Thanks for joining me again today. Do you ever wake up wanting a certain tobacco? Today, it was plum pudding for me. I am smoking the regular plum pudding. I will probably break out the plum pudding reserve for New Year's or around New Year's. We'll see. I'm thinking I'll pull out a cigar for New Year's. But anyhow, the reason for today's video is I cleaned up my pipes and I wanted to share that process with you all. This is not a tutorial. It's just me talking about what I do to clean my pipes. It is a fairly long video, so if you want to speed it up and get through it faster, totally understand. When there were gaps of no talking, I sped that part up 6 to 8 times speed to get through the content a little faster. But I had not been smoking much throughout 2025. There were only a handful of pipes that I had been using. I'll share a picture of that. There's just a pile of pipes on my desk and the pipes in my travel bag that I was taking to Pipe Club. The ones that I took to Pipe Club were definitely the ones that got the most use in 2025. But the ones on my desk, they had really just been sitting there for most of the year. Maybe I picked them up once or twice, but I didn't take the time to clean them or maintain them properly, and they just stayed right there. So you'll see a picture of that. And then I will walk you through my process of refreshening a pipe. It's not a deep clean restoration process by any means. It's more of a sanitation, cleaning, sprucing up process. And after I did all that, I went ahead and just got all my pipes out, cleaned them up so that they are ready to go for the new year. So anyway, sit back, relax, have a pipe with me as we talk about cleaning pipes. I would love to hear about your process as well. Again, by no means is this is how you should do it kind of video. That's not the case. It's just what I do. I talk a little bit about the different pipe cleaners that I use and why. And yeah. So sit back, relax. Let's talk about cleaning pipes. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me while I clean up my pipes. You just saw a picture of my pile of pipes that has been sitting here on my desk for months and months and months. Some of these pipes I have probably not touched in 8 or so months. My workhorse pipes have been the Cobbs and these two pipes. These two have gone with me to the Miami Pipe Club meetings on a monthly basis. But again, I smoked 1 or 2 bowls out of them once a month for all that time. So these are the ones that have been used. They've been sitting around the longest. So I'm going to go ahead and clean these up now. Once I'm done with these, I'm probably just going to go grab a bunch of the other pipes off the stands in my office and clean those up. This is really not a tutorial. I'm just going to show you what I do for a cleanup. This is kind of standard maintenance for me. Feedback is welcome. I love ideas, things that I can always improve on. But I'll show you what I do. So I'm going to start off with the taking the softy bits off and sanitizing those. I use Everclear. This is height proof. It doesn't leave any flavor. If you do want to use something that leaves a nice taste, there are people who mix Everclear with mouthwash. I'm not a huge fan of the taste of mouthwash in my pipes, so I ditched that one very early on in my pipe journey. But you could, instead of Everclear, go with a high-proof whiskey That taste goes great with tobacco if there's any lingering effect from it. I just like using the clean, high-proof grain alcohol. It disinfects and doesn't leave a lingering taste, so I can enjoy the pure taste of the tobacco. So what I'm going to do is just use a shot glass here, put some Everclear in it, and I'm just going to dip each of the softy bits in it and then put it into a glass of water here so that the alcohol doesn't deteriorate the rubber too much. All right, so let's do that. When you're using alcohol, you want to be really careful not to get it on any of your stummels. The high-proof alcohol will take a finish off your briar pipes or any other pipe for that matter. So just make sure that you don't get any on your fingers that's touching the wood as you are working. This one's pretty stretched. It might be a little hard to get off. No, just a little liquid lubrication goes a long way. Let's start with some cobs. So I'm going to take the shanks off these. When you're using pipe cleaners, I love just thin pipe cleaners. You're always going to have a little fluff off these. These are BJ Longs. BJ Longs are my favorite pipe cleaners. They are a little more expensive, but they are less, they shed less. There's a lot less fluff off these, as opposed to something like this. This is a really cheap pipe cleaner off of Amazon, but it is very fluffy. This will gunk up your pipe. I don't know if you can see the fluff flying all over the place on camera here, but I can. Looks like Christmas in here. It's snowing. You do not want all that fluff in your pipe. So I purchased a ton of these. I have a lot left, but they were becoming problematic. So I only use these in a pinch. The BJ Longs are much, much better. So let's start with cleaning some stems. Just using pipe cleaner. I like going vertical to ensure that I'm not dripping alcohol all over things that shouldn't be dripped on. Definitely needed it. So nice thing is, clean both ends. You can see getting a little cleaner there. Again, I'm going mostly for just a sanitization. This is not a estate pipe cleaning. In the middle there, it's clean. Just dip it a little bit, double it over, and this thicker part, you get you got a wide open draft there. A little harder to clean with just a thin pipe cleaner. Doubling it over does a great job in giving you a little more to work with there. There we go. Rinse and repeat. For a wide open draft like a cob that has a filter, again, doubling over does a great job in helping you get a better clean. These are tapered. I love using tapered on P-lips because the P-lip has a angle to it. The thinner the pipe cleaner is, the easier it's going to be to get in there. We'll talk about that a little bit more later, but Because I want, I have a wide draft here, I'm just going to start by doubling over a tapered pipe cleaner. The fluffy end, great for going into the bowl. You do want to be sure that you're not gouging the wall. Okay, you want to take a look, see where you're going into the chamber, mark the pipe cleaner with your fingers. That way you can get some good friction in there without digging a hole into the opposite side of your pipe. A clean pipe is a sweet pipe. For corn cobs, and any pipe really, the darkened rim, for corn cobs, you're probably not going to get away from that. But on your briar, saliva is your best friend for cleaning off some darkening on the rim. Again, you do not want to use alcohol on the shank, on the bowl in any way. So let's use some saliva. I'm just going to put some on my finger here. Again, on a corn cob, this probably isn't going to do much, but the enzymes in your saliva do a great job in breaking down the creosote and the tars, so to speak. For the bowl of a cob, I like to, again, use a little grain alcohol and a paper towel. So let's do that. All right, paper towel, gonna tear off a strip, fold it up, like that. All right. Good enough. And then, of course, we need to address the rim. So I'm just going to use some clean water. All right. That's all I'm going to do with those corn cobs. Maybe actually just, again, wash the stem a little bit. All right, set those aside. Dry. All right, let's take a look at these briars first. Let's take the stems off. All right, this Peterson is not a system pipe. System pipes, you got to be much more diligent about cleaning out the chamber, but with this one, I don't have to be so fickle. Let's start off with the stems, and then we'll deal with the stummels. For the stems, again, we're just going to take thin pipe cleaners. A lot of these have a very small airway, which is nice. Again, the tapered that have the fluffy end and the thin end are great for stems that have a wide open, a wider drilling. Again, I like to hold these vertical so that the alcohol goes down the pipe cleaner and extends things. If you have a polished stem, alcohol can affect it, the wax, if it's been waxed. So that is something you may want to be cognizant of. These stems have not been waxed in a very, very, very long time. You notice they're kind of a dull finish, so I'm not super concerned about that. With this, I don't need to double over because there's nowhere to do the doubling over with. around this part here. Make sure there's no buildup there around the mortise and tenon connection. So you got a tight fit. Now, on this stem, you'll notice some of the white stuff here. I have used soap on this one to loosen the connection, as it's a lubricant. So I am not going to clean this one off because this stem has fit very, very tightly, and a little bit of pure hand block soap just rubbed on the stem has made all the difference with getting this in and out. A lot of people will recommend graphite, but graphite, it's granular. It will deteriorate the material, so it'll give you some lubrication effect, but over time it will deteriorate the materials that it is rubbing between. So I don't recommend graphite for tight pipe stems. Here's an example of where the fluffy pipe cleaners can cause problems. Okay, for the Peterson, again, we have a P-lip, and P-lips, they go in and then they have an angle. So using the thin side is great here, and then on the other end, using the fluffy side is a great way to go, especially if you have a system pipe that has a stinger. The fluffy end on a tapered is great for the tenon end. The thin side's great for the P-lip end. Usually the fluffy side will not go all the way through the P-lip end, so you attack it from both sides. Now you can see that this stem has oxidized quite a bit. I'll probably do a very basic addressing of that, but again, we're not restoring a pipe here, just cleaning it up. I'm going to do another taper. I'm going to do the taper end from the bottom side to go all the way through. And again, you'll find that it's hard for it to come out the P-lip end, but it does go all the way to the bend in the curve. So just make sure that that's clean, and then we'll go back in from the top. All right. I'm going to go wash my hands before I touch these stummels. But let's go ahead and start addressing these stummels. So there are bristled pipe cleaners. I only use these when I am restoring a pipe, so to speak, a deep clean. And you should never use these bristled pipe cleaners on an ebonite or an acrylic or really any stem. These little hard bristles will create micro scratches inside. You should only use these on the stummel to clean the airway, and you'll avoid problems. So I'm really not going to use these today. I just wanted to bring these out to mention that. So again, having a nice variety of pipe cleaners is helpful. This is a very thin airway. I'm going to use a thin pipe cleaner just to clean this up. So again, you want to be sure to avoid alcohol on the outside of your pipe, which is another reason I like holding it vertically. But again, I'm going into the bowl just far enough and marking it with my finger so I'm not gouging the opposite end of the bowl. You do not want to create a hole in your briar, or your cob, or your mirror. And then again, right inside the mortise, doubling it over is a great way to get in and clean that area. You'd be amazed at how many mortise and tenons do not fit perfectly. And number one problem with that is that it can create turbulence in the smoke and can contribute greatly to a gurgling pipe if that juncture is not tight. It's also a place that saliva can build up, again, due to the moisture caused by the turbulence in the smoke. But it's something else that you need to be very aware to clean regularly if you have a situation like that. You'll notice that I do not build a cake in my pipes. After every pipe I smoke, I run a pipe cleaner through the stem and I bend it in half and I sweep out the bowl. I do not like to build cake in my pipes. So for cleaning, I do the same thing. I will use some Everclear. Again, be sure to be careful with the rim. I go into the bowl and I do an alcohol treatment on the bowl. Again, being very careful of the rim. You do not want to remove any stain from your pipe. Just like I did with the cobs. I'm sure a lot of you think this is blasphemy, but this is how I prefer to do it. All right, so because this has a large mortise, the airway, I'm going to use a tapered pipe cleaner through the airway, and then again we'll fold, clean out the mortise, and go from there. All right, I just paused and went and washed my hands. So again, let's address the rim with some saliva. I'm using a different finger for each of these rims because, well, the last one would not taste great. This one wasn't bad, but a little maintenance goes a long way. I'm going to put a little more saliva on this one, let it sit a little longer. And same with this one. Give this one a little more as well. Okay, next, I want to do just a little touch up on these stems, especially this Peterson. This one's pretty oxidized, as you can probably see. All I'm going to do is use a small piece of magic eraser. You just want to dip this in a little water, and it can do a very decent job for a quick polish up. Get some of that oxidation off, return a little blackness to it. Be sure you're being careful of any logos, but this Peterson is going to need a lot more attention than this magic eraser is going to be able to provide. Alright, so let's see what we can do with these other stems here real quick. Different qualities of ebonite, vulcanite, oxidize at different rates. So rate of oxidation is a way to tell what kind of material you have. I believe ebonite oxidizes more slowly than vulcanite. I think that's one of the benefits. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's one of the differences. A lot of people think that they're just two words for the same thing, but I do believe there is a chemical difference between the two, making ebonite superior from an oxidative standpoint. Again, I'm just shooting off the cuff here, but I believe, if my memory serves, that is one of the differences. It's funny, as I'm cleaning these with this, I can actually smell the rubber. Just an extra spot here that kind of build up. See if I can put a little elbow grease into it. All right, so I got the stems mixed up. I actually rinsed them with water, dried them again, made sure they were matched to the proper pipe. That's one of the risks you take when you're dealing with a lot of pipes at one time. And luckily I had it on video, so I went back and validated that these stems are now matched properly. One last thing that I do with my briar pipes with vulcanite stems is I treat them with some mineral oil. Number one, it creates a barrier against the oxygen to slow oxidation, and these pipes are actually a natural finish. They are not stained. The only thing that's ever been on them is oil. So I keep that oil finish up on them. Something like this could benefit from a little oil on it. I could use it as kind of a polish. I have yet to try to wax a pipe aside from the hand buffing method. So I'm going to go ahead and oil these. I do not use natural oils, as in cooking oils. I don't want a rancid oil smell or effect, so mineral oil will not have that problem, which is why I prefer mineral oil. It's also very affordable, very cheap, right from your drugstore. This is food grade. This is actually used as a laxative. So I have no problem using it on my pipes, on my mouthpieces. I don't use it for anything other than this, so I'm dipping the pipe cleaners in there. Don't be worried. It's not going to be used. It's not going to be ingested. So even though it is for laxative purposes, I don't use it for that reason. And even this Peterson, even though the oxidation is pretty serious, this can, create a protective barrier, slow down any additional oxidation, though this stem does need some serious attention, but I don't have time for that right now. So I'm going to let the oil sit on those for a little while, and then I will buff it out, but I'm also going to go ahead and oil these stummels. Now, if anybody feels this is a bad idea for some reason, I am open to learning. Criticism is welcome. Share your thought process, educate me. All of these briars, except for the Peterson at the end, are Edwards pipes from out of Tampa, Florida. I actually acquired all of these at a antique shop locally here in Fort Lauderdale area. So they had obviously acquired it from an estate sale and then put them in the store because it was a huge collection of Edwards pipes. This is only a handful of them that I have restored. I have a bunch that I have not restored. I'll get around to those someday. Anyway, just puts a nice shine on it without having to deal with waxes, and polishing wheels. No need to do that on the corn cobs. So this is just a piece of old t-shirt. And come in and just wipe down the stems. Again, I'm not going to use a huge buffing action here. I do actually want a layer of oil to remain on these. But just wipe off the residue of the oil. With the rustication, you want to be sure that you kind of get into the rustication so that you don't leave the oil build up inside of the divots. You may not even want to do this on certain types of rustication. There are polishes out there made for rusticated pipes. I have some back in my pipe toolbox, but I cannot think of the name of it at the moment. Well-known one. So it just gives it a nice depth of color. It doesn't look dry. Just gives it a little sheen, little protective coating. All right, guys, those are done. All right, so this one is the one that's traditionally been tight, and I know that sound. I do not want to break this shank, so I'm going to need to go get the soap and re-lubricate that before I put that back on. All right, the very last thing I wanted to do today was to clean up my mirror here. The silver, you can see, has been become very tarnished. The softy bit here is pretty nasty. I am not a fan of the clear ones. They get pretty grody looking pretty quick. So let's take that off. Just gotta get some lubrication under there before they'll slide right off. Just throw that in there and let that clean off a little bit. I do not have many pipes with acrylic stems. Dipping it in alcohol doesn't seem to be problematic, but again, open to lessons and learnings from others. So I just want to kind of wipe down this pipe. This is a spigot, so it is a metal on metal connection, and it is all 925 silver. Got a little darkening on the rim here. So again, I'm going to start off by using a little saliva, but then I'm going to pull out a jeweler's cloth and just buff this silver. Jeweler's cloth is a great friend to have around if you have any pipes that have metallic finishes, especially silver. You start off by using the inside, which has a treatment on it, and then you buff it with the outside of the cloth. So let's wipe off that rim, see if we got anything there. A little bit. Okay, well, let's see what we can do here. I'm going to use the treated side first. All right, easy as that. I have a ton of other pipes. I'm going to go ahead and clean up everything that is on the stands so that I have a nice set to work through. Thanks for joining me. Talk to you in the comments. Bye for now. Thank you for joining me today. Remember, life with a pipe is better than without. Bye for now.